Joining us now, retired Major General James Spider Marks, CNN military analyst and head of geopolitical strategy at Academy Security. Spider, this is the map we've been looking at for days, with 190,000 Russian troops ringing Ukraine. There's really a new focus this morning.
Yeah, there really is. I mean, here's where Luhansk and Donetsk are. This is the Donbas region that we've been talking about. What we anticipate and what Putin has said he's going to do is he's now going to bring additional forces into this area. Now, bear in mind, they've been in there since 2014, so this could be an invasion without a shot being fired.
One of the things I've been talking about is the next few hours will really tell us a lot. This area is the area that the Russians already more or less control. The Russian-backed separatists there already control. But they claim this entire area here. So what are you watching for?
Well, exactly. So the initial move, this is, again, as you've indicated, this is where the separatists have been for the last 7 years. This region is what Putin has said has always been historically Russian. It was taken from him, fall of the Soviet Union, et cetera, et cetera. We've got the history. The big concern I see is not only a move into this area, but also the potential for a move down to, could happen, this is the Dnieper River. I could see where he would be enthusiastic. If you look up here in this map, he would be enthusiastic about achieving this kind of a bite. And I'm not certain how the world would respond to that.
How would he do it militarily?
Well, not hard at all. Bear in mind, he has forces down here in Crimea. He's got attack helicopters. He's got fighters. He also has naval presence here, the Sea of Azov. So he has a joint and combined capability to provide support were this to be a decision in terms of an invasion. He's got the capability.
And again, this is another area where you can push in here. What can the Ukrainians do about this?
Well, the Ukrainians, obviously, if you were to look at a map in detail, the Ukrainians have forces that are in this area. This is a separation line. So there has been fighting across this line, but this is controlled by Russian forces and separatists. The Ukrainians are throughout this area. If Putin was to push like this, or just simply in this area, he is going to face Ukrainian forces. This is where a fight will occur.
And again, I just want people to know, so this is where they are right now.
Right.
The next stage would be here, the areas the separatists claim. Another stage would be trying to connect it with Crimea here. These are the different stages. I just want to pull out to the overall situation here. When we talk about a large-scale invasion of Ukraine, what would that be?
Well, a large-scale invasion could take place, but bear in mind, in my mind, that is not a possibility that exists right now. He has about 200,000 forces here. In order to occupy and control Ukraine, it would take close to about 800,000 forces. However, if he was going to move in the direction of Kyiv, he could do that this way, and then he has forces here. These would be allocated to operations here, but he's got this capability, so you have the classic pincer movement. But if you moved into the Kyiv, that's a 3 million person city, you would cause an incredible amount of rubble, and you would have to control it. And then ultimately, he'd have to rebuild it. He doesn't have the economy to do that.
And again, just so people know this, I want to hone in. This is where we are now. This is where the situation here is now.
Yes, sir.
That's what to watch over the next few days. If the goal isn't the entire nation and occupation of the entire nation, what are all these other troops doing here? If all he's talking about is this area down here, why these tens of thousands of forces?
This causes pause. This is what we call a head fake. We're paying attention to this. Putin and Lukashenko, the leader in Belarus, were up here observing exercises. The world was focused on that. He deploys these forces here. These forces are trained and ready. They're out of their garrison locations. They're in the field. They're doing what soldiers and military folks get paid to do, enhance their readiness. These are ready forces. And so you've got this incredible shadow that's being cast over Ukraine. And I would say long term, Putin wants to control Ukraine, and he's doing it in bite-sized chunks. He's taking a longer view. Look, he's going to be around for another 20 years, right? Here was step one. Here's step two. Step three may be this, and he starts to invalidate the credibility of Zelensky and that government.
And again, just so people see the overall larger map of Europe here, Jim was talking about Estonia and the Baltic states up here. I mean, there is Poland's right here. There is concern in terms of other European nations that are NATO allies.
Absolutely. And when Putin looks at this, he sees this encroachment of NATO to the east, right? From 1999 till today, those NATO nations have gone from 16 to 30. And we told Putin back in the early 90s and beyond, we're not going to expand NATO. Well, guess what? In his eyes, we lied to him.